Today on Oswego Now, full coverage of a small plane crash that happened earlier today in Boca Raton, what we know so far, and what investigators are saying about the cause. Plus, updates on the helicopter crash that took place in New York City. Officials have now released the identities of the victims.
Sheldon Ballroom hosts TEDx to help inspire the Oswego community with some inspiring messages and stories and ideas.
Good evening, I'm Madeline Cummings. It's been a rainy and cloudy week, definitely feeling those April showers. But the real question is, will the wet weather stick around for the weekend? Oswego Now meteorologist David Rienzo is here with the answer. David?
Nobody's in my ear, so.
Well, thank you, David, and I apologize for those technical difficulties. It is hard to believe that it has been a whole year since the total solar eclipse over Oswego, but that's just how long it's been. Last year, Oswego was sent into a frenzy of research and eclipse-related projects, including right here at Oswego Now, when we put on the 2024 Eclipse Special. Dr. Natalia Lewandowska, who was a part of our show, recently shared with us her experience after the lights went out.
A lot of excitement and a lot of inspiration for, planetarium shows, because I'm also the planetarium director. Doing research together is one of the best experiences I have ever had.
Dr. Lewandowska also mentioned a previous project in which students and professors traveled all the way to New Mexico to conduct research on an annular solar eclipse, making last year's total eclipse, Lewandowska's fourth eclipse, impressive.
Oswego's biggest spring event is back, and this year Ozfest is bringing even more to campus. From carnival rides to live performances, here's what students could expect. Mark your calendars. Friday, May 9th, Ozfest returns to SUNY Oswego. The action starts at noon with daytime activities outside the arena, including carnival rides, food trucks, games, and more. Then at 7 p.m., the party moves to the Deborah F. Stanley Arena for the concert featuring Mariah the Scientist, student openers from the Digital Music Association, and a mystery headliner still to be announced.
People are just getting anxious a little bit when it comes to the headliner, but we're just waiting to make it grand, make it big.
For the first time in Ozfest history, students will be performing alongside national artists, a new move that's generating buzz.
I'm just happy to be part of it, and being able to participate in Ozfest as well. That never happened before, and it took a lot of strings to be pulled. And it's all about who you know, is not what you know, and that's the cool thing about it.
Tickets are now on sale for $20 for students and $25 for the general public. Available at tickets.oswego.edu or the campus box office. With good food, live music, and a full day of fun, Ozfest 2025 is shaping up to be an event that you won't want to miss. I'm Jaden Archie, Oswego Now.
With a day full of festivities, live performances, and a headliner still under wraps, Ozfest 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated events of the year. Students can secure their spot now and get ready for a day that celebrates campus life, loud, live, and unforgettable. With the global economy on shaky ground and graduation for thousands of college students just months away, it's left many wondering what the job market will look like in May. Oswego Now's Nasir Mikkel takes us inside a program at SUNY Oswego designated to help students find their first professional gig.
This is The Compass, SUNY Oswego's Office for Career Services, Experiential Learning, and Orientation. The office is set up to make sure students can create a career path starting from freshman year all the way to and after graduation. Early Experiential Coordinator Ali Schultz says career services helps with resume writing, interview preparation, and direct connection with employers, even offering peer student internships.
There's so many things that they help with. They know how to work with resumes. They know how to help prepare you for interviews. And they're fellow students too. So it's not just, sometimes it can be intimidating to have to talk to someone who seems like they're in such a high up position, or is just a lot older than you, and you would rather connect with someone that's closer on your level, right?
In the experiential learning section of the office, students are given help in finding internships, applying for them, and as well as offering other experiential opportunities like mock career events. Grad student Morgan Buchanan says she understands the fears students have and is open to quelling them. She says it's okay to arrive at the campus unprepared, but students should have
questions. I love curiosity in students. I want you to come in with so many questions because it helps me guide you. And if you also are open to questions, I ask a lot of questions too, like, what's your major? What are you thinking of doing?
The goal of the Compass is to give students a well-rounded experience from the beginning of the job process to landing their winning careers. I'm Oswego Now reporter, Yasir Miko.
The Compass has drop-in office hours available for students where they can get extra help and have a professional headshot taken. Staying with the SUNY Oswego campus, this is a brand new event and it is underway right now inside Sheldon Hall. TEDx SUNY Oswego is sold out. What is TEDx and why is it getting so much attention? Alex Brummer joins us to explain. So Alex, why is it such a big deal?
Thanks, Madeline. TEDx is a global brand that brings local and independent organizers to spread powerful messages and ideas. TEDx SUNY Oswego aims to inspire and elevate the Oswego community by showcasing 6 speakers with incredible ideas and stories. Hosting this event means SUNY Oswego joins a community with over 40 million followers and 8 billion views. To get more on the event, I talked with the executive producer of the event, Kenny Gerard.
I think you can learn a lot of valuable lessons. We have 6 incredible speakers here, all of them with their own different stories and different backgrounds. They all have some valuable information to share, also some things we could take away from it. And again, if you aren't here in person, you can watch that live stream. And I mean, it's a cool event. It's a first-time thing at SUNY Oswego, and I think it's a lot of fun.
The event is still live right now. You can tune into the live stream on the SUNY Oswego YouTube channel, or you can join the watch party at Penfield Library. Back to you, Madeline.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up, what investigators are now revealing about the small plane crash in Florida. And the Supreme Court has made their ruling on the deportation of an accused gang member.
Care. I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to Oswego Now. I'm meteorologist David Rienzo. Right now in Oswego, the conditions are 42 degrees and that wind is exceptionally calm. As you can see behind me, the rain is starting to fall down. You can see some of the ripples in the puddles behind me. And this rain is going to continue to move into our area. If you see on the radar, there is a little bit of rain down to our south and over to our west, and that's going to continue to move into our area. Now, on the futurecast, what is significant about this weekend is this low-pressure system off the coast of Pennsylvania. This is going to mostly stay on the coast of the Atlantic and move into New England, so we are not concerned about heavy downpours like they'll see in Massachusetts and Connecticut, but we could see the chance of some rain Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then by the time you wake up on Sunday, it'll be mostly cloudy with that patch of sun poking through, and those clouds will clear out by Sunday afternoon, so we'll stay warm and sunny by the end of Sunday. So if you have any plans for this weekend, Friday and Saturday are not looking too nice. Temperatures in the mid to high 40s with that rain coming down, but Sunday looks very beautiful to get outside, maybe hit the links. For tonight, a low of 38 degrees with that rain on and off across the night, and tomorrow a high of 47 degrees with that rain maybe moving in towards the afternoon, a sprinkle here or there, and into the 7-day. You can see temperatures really start to rebound by Monday, reaching the high 50s Sunday and Monday in the 50s, and temperatures slowly start to dip back down into the seasonal average. One thing I will poke out is Wednesday. Watch out for those winds on Wednesday, windy Wednesdays, I like to say, with gusts as high as 32 miles per hour. But the rest of your week is finally looking like April temperatures. I'll send it back to the inside. Back to Madeline.
Thank you, David. In national news, early today, a small plane crashed just outside the airport in Boca Raton, Florida, killing all 3 people aboard. That's according to the assistant fire chief.
3 on the plane, 3 souls on board, and we can confirm those were all fatalities. One gentleman on the ground he hit a tree because of all the debris and the fire. It's non-life-threatening injuries on him. We treated him and sent him to the hospital.
Officials say the Cessna went down on a busy city street and erupted into a fireball. The crash scattered debris across the road and nearby train tracks. A man who was driving in the area was also injured after hitting a tree due to debris and fire from the crash. He has non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to a local hospital. A flight tracking site shows the aircraft made repeated loops around the airport before the crash. The Federal Aviation Administration said the plane was headed to Tallahassee. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board will investigate the crash. Moving on, a U.S. judge wants answers after a man was illegally deported to El Salvador by the Trump administration. He's now in a high-security prison held with gang members. The Supreme Court says the deportation was illegal, as Amy Kiley reports.
This was an extraordinary, unanimous rebuke.
Is it okay to deport someone illegally, send them to a prison in El Salvador, and not facilitate their return? The Supreme Court says no in a ruling last night. It says the Trump administration must take steps for the release of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, but it's stopping short of requiring the government to bring him home. The Justice Department points out the ruling defers to the executive branch when it comes to foreign affairs. It argues the U.S. can't force El Salvador to free the man from its notorious prison. The Trump administration is paying that country $6 million to keep U.S. deportees at that facility.
The question is, how hard will the Trump administration try to get Mr. Garcia back, if at all?
In a statement, Abrego Garcia's wife says she's anxious to have him back in Maryland with their children. A judge's 2019 decision bars his deportation, even though he entered the U.S. illegally. The Trump administration claims he's a suspected ranking member of the MS-13 gang. His lawyers deny that, and he's never been charged with a crime. His attorney says if he doesn't come back, that would be a sign that, quote, the government can deport whomever they want.
What remains mysterious about this order is what happens if Mr. Garcia doesn't come back, and how does the court try to enforce something that's entirely in another country?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The court did not give the administration a deadline for when Garcia should be returned. Officials say a New Jersey woman tried to hire a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend. A Philadelphia police officer and his teenage daughter. Police arrested 26-year-old Jacqueline Diorio last week. Prosecutors say she communicated her plans to carry out a murder-for-hire plot to a confidential informant. According to the prosecutor's office, she offered to pay the informant roughly $12,000. When they met last Friday, Diorio allegedly paid the informant $500 in cash. She was taken into custody after the money was exchanged. Diorio is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder. The state of South Carolina is set to execute convicted murderer Mikhail Mihad on Friday by firing squad. In 2004, Mahadi shot and killed an off-duty police officer. Mahadi chose to die by firing squad rather than lethal injection or the electric chair. His attorney characterized Mahadi's decision as choosing the lesser of 3 evils. Mahadi's scheduled execution comes soon after the nation's first firing squad execution in 15 years, carried out on March 7th, also in South Carolina. And coming up after the break, Dr. Stephen Abraham discusses tariffs with Oswego Now reporter Casey DeSalle.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire.
Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Oswego Now News. The Trump administration recently raised the tariffs on Chinese imported goods to 124%. However, the trade was escalated today when China retaliated by raising tariffs on U.S. imported goods to 125%. Oswego Now reporter Casey DeSalle sat down with Dr. Stephen Abraham, a professor at the School of Business at SUNY Oswego, to discuss how these tariffs could affect consumer prices.
Thank you, Madeline, and thank you for joining me today, Dr. Stephen Abraham. Today we're going to be discussing the topic of tariffs. I know that's a topic that's on many Americans' minds right now. The first question, how are these tariffs implemented by the Trump administration going to affect prices and inflation on consumer goods here in the United States?
A tariff, if you want to think of it, is basically, it's a tax. So if they're charging foreign countries or producers in foreign countries more money to import their goods to the U.S., prices are going to go up because those prices, at least the majority of them, are going to be passed off to the consumer.
Yeah. And then you see a lot of debate on whether or not these tariffs are the right thing to do right now in terms of the economy. Can you explain why some groups might think it's the right thing to do, while others might think it's not the right thing to do?
The only people who are going to be in favor of tariffs are people who are interested in bringing production back to the U.S. because what a tariff is going to do is going to make it more expensive for producers in foreign countries to produce their product, and well, not to produce, but to sell their product in the U.S. And so, relatively, it's going to make the price of American goods lower compared to the price of the foreign imports, and so that will increase the demand for goods produced in the U.S. And then if there's an increased demand for the goods that are produced in the U.S., then companies in the U.S. will have to increase production to meet that demand, and that will, increase employment in the U.S.
And then some countries have come to agreement with the U.S. as of late. Others have retaliated. China is one of those countries that has retaliated lately. Do you think the U.S. is making a good decision by continually raising the tariffs against China, or do you think it's a bad decision?
I'm not in favor of them just because I'm not in favor of anything that interferes with the free market. And you raised an excellent point. The U.S. is not acting in isolation. As you said, the U.S. Trump imposes tariffs, other countries retaliate, and it could theoretically be a never-ending spiral. So not only if we impose a tariff on imported goods, and then other countries impose tariffs against us, then it's going to be more expensive for us to import. It's going to be our companies in the U.S. that try to export their goods are also going to have to deal with tariffs, so they're going to be hurt in that sense. And I'm sure you've probably noticed that Trump backed off yesterday immediately. He delayed his tariffs for 90 days against all of the EU. The only country that he hasn't delayed tariffs on is China. But the guess is that my prediction is that he might delay tariffs against China as well.
Okay. That's all we have time for. Thank you for joining me today, Dr. C. Abraham.
Thank you very much.
On tariffs. Now I'll throw it back to the desk.
Thanks, Casey. Coming up, a check on local sports. Our Jaden Jiggets will be talking lacrosse and more. We'll be back with Oswego Now after the break.
A lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back. I'm Jaden Jiggets, and this is the Oswego Now Sports Report. To kick off our sports news, looks like there is a new driver in Oswego. Mackenzie Coleman, after 13 years of presenting feature winners with hardware in Victory Lane, Coleman will make her rookie debut on the track as a driver this season in Pathfinder SBS division. She will be driving for Go Racing, owned by longtime family friend Greg O'Connor, and her car will be numbered 29 in honor of her mother, Mary Coleman. Moving from the track to the field, Oswego High School varsity girls lacrosse team got a dominant victory on the road over Central Square in their matchup this past Wednesday, final score being 12-7. Senior Elena DeBlasi played a huge part in this game with her contribution of 6 goals and forced 2 turnovers. Oswego will be on the road again Thursday, April 24th, when they face Rome Free Academy. Game will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of victories, Oswego women's lacrosse got one of their best yesterday after beating Cortland for the first time in program history. Final score being 10-8. This win by the Lakers breaks a 41-game SUNYAC win streak the Red Dragons held over them since their first encounter back in 1995. The Lakers fought relentlessly throughout this entire game and will look to add another chapter to the historic rivalry with the Red Dragons in the future. Oswego's men and women's lacrosse will be hosting their senior day home games this Saturday, April 12th at Laker Turf Stadium. Women's lacrosse game will begin first when they take on Plattsburgh. Game time at 11 a.m. Men's lacrosse game will follow up immediately after when they face off against SUNY Morrisville. Game time will begin at 2 p.m. Syracuse women's lacrosse will also be in action tomorrow, Saturday, April 12th, as they will be heading south to take on Virginia Tech. The Orange will be entering this game in a three-way tie for third in the ACC standings with a 9-5 overall record on the season. They're looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Game time will begin at 12 p.m. noon. The Oswego baseball team has had a very busy season, going 14-8 since their first game in late February. Oswego Now sports reporter Riley Jones has the inside information about how the team is feeling with their doubleheader against Clarkson tomorrow. Riley?
Thanks, Jaden. I'm currently standing here just outside Laker Turf with the Oswego State baseball team's head coach, Scott Landers. Just first question. First of all, thank you so much for meeting us today.
My pleasure.
Well, first question. I know you guys have a very busy weekend coming up with 2 games two doubleheaders back to back, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. How's it feel going into such a busy weekend?
We've been playing all right. We dropped 2 last week, on walk-offs in conference, but overall we've gotten better throughout the season, and we're stepping in the right direction. And now we're at a point in our season where we're playing games and we're fighting the elements. It was supposed to be today, now it's tomorrow, but we're excited, and we got to go one game at a time and get some W's.
All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting me. That's gonna be all for my report. Back to the studio.
That's all for your Oswego Now sports report. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Jaden. Despite the cold weather, spring is finally upon us. SUNY Oswego's Rice Creek Field Station will be hosting outdoor events for students, faculty, and community members, just as color returns to the trees. Birdwatching for Science is a program for those interested in birding at any level. Attendees will learn tips on identifying common backyard species, and those with birding experience can count the birds spotted for citizen science. Visitors can expect to see 5 to 14 different species during their visit. If bird watching isn't for you, you can also attend guided nature walks. The walks explore the forests, fields, wetlands, and waterways of Rice Creek in under a mile. The events are held at Rice Creek every Saturday except the first of each month. That's all for the time we've got today. For Oswego Now, thank you all for watching. Have a great night, everyone.